Greetings and welcome to Roman of the Empire. Before we get the show started tonight, I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm asking for your help. I know, right? It's like, has Roman lost his mind? Is he been drinking too much? Is he on drugs? Maybe. No, the answer is no. So one of our fellow YouTubers, one of the people who contributes, who builds, who is on everybody's stream. I've worked with him. Most of you have worked with him as well. Needs some help. He's in a bit of a bind. And the reasons honestly don't really matter. What does matter is that we have a friend who needs our help. So our buddy Stephen Ransom needs some help. And so if you can, and if you're willing to, please DM Blair de Blair. His information is in, the big data part of this show. You can see all his info on Twitter, and let him know that you want to help out. Excuse me. And we'll move forward from there. Okay. So it's one of ours that needs some help. That's really all that matters, right? So if you can, please, like I said, please hit up Blair to Blair on Twitter, DM, let him know you want to help, and he'll move it forward from there. And then we can do what we can to help our friend out. Cool. All right. So on that, we are now going to dive into the show. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. We're all very tired. There's nothing more I can do except wait. R.J. McCready, helicopter pilot, U.S. Outpost number 31. Greetings and welcome once again to Roman of the Empire. I am your host, Roman. Tonight, we are going to be diving into all things The Thing, except that 2011 piece of shit. We're not going to talk about that. But we are going to talk about the novella Who Goes There from 1938, the 1951 film The Thing from Another World, Frankenstein in the Antarctic, and the classic John Carpenter film from 1982. I do need to let you know that Tyler is a thing virgin. This is a little peculiar. I've not encountered such a thing in all my travels. So just go with that. So with me tonight, as always, he is my wingman. He is my co-host. He is the man that makes sure that I do not set the world ablaze. He is Shield Wall of Dragons. Thank you for being with me tonight, buddy. How are you tonight?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, 2011 Thing. Let's dive in. I'm just kidding. Glad to be here. This is going to be, hopefully, it'll be a good stream. The novella is awesome. I got done listening to it today. It's great. I've seen the 51 movie, though, a 1951 movie. It's a little different than both the 82 and the novella, but it's still a good movie. So excited to talk about it. Yep.
Cool. He is the man who goes here and there. He appears, he disappears when he wishes to. He is my favorite internet wizard. He is Blair de Blair. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. It's one of my favorite movies of all time and one of my favorite subjects. So we get to revisit it with a virgin on the panel. So that's...
no. He is the man who knows all the things about the things. He is the unbearable 73, the that shouldn't be. Matt goes there. Welcome, Matt, to the show tonight. How are you, sir?
And Matt's gonna go there tonight, baby. I actually have trivia for you.
Your background is trivia tonight, Matt. I actually do want to talk about that a little bit because it's something that most people I didn't even know existed, and we're going to touch on some different stuff tonight as well. We're not just going to tread over the same ground, although that ground is still pretty good.
This is something new about the thing, like within the last 3 or 4 years.
New stuff. Cool. His ancestors shall sing songs of his deeds. He is the great. He is the majestic. He is Tyler the Redbeard. Welcome to the show, Tyler. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. Like you said, I hadn't seen or read any of this stuff until like Monday, so I've just been cramming for this show, and
I find it
had a lot of thoughts.
So
what's that?
Give me kind of your. I mean, all of us have been, milling around in this for 20 or more years.
So
what are your thoughts?
I started with the book, and then
good,
and then did the Kurt Russell movie. So when I was reading it, I was trying to figure out how they were going to pull off a lot of that stuff. Which obviously in the 50s movie it was just like a giant dude, but in the 80s movie, kind of the practical effects were really cool to see how they implemented that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's something that it is funny when you read the book. And then if you just watch the 1951 film, you're like, these two things really have almost nothing in common.
No.
But then 1982 comes and you're like,
yeah,
they actually have, I would say, like what, 85% of the stuff is there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually
the ending is very different. But
before watching or reading them, just knowing a little bit about it, I think it was. In my mind, the story was more like the 1950s. Like they found something, and then they had to like kill it, and that was kind of it. So that was my idea going.
Tyler, did you read any of the other short stories in the book?
One more time.
Did you read any of the other short stories in the book?
No.
There's two of them that are actually better than Who Goes There. Okay. I wish they would make into.
Yeah.
Literally, what the absolute fuck, Copa?
Do I need to go see that one, you guys? The 2011.
The answer to that would be a stern and warning.
No.
I'm going to play the contrarian there because 2011, The Thing, is a perfect example in studio interference and how it can destroy something.
That's a good thing, guys. I need you to talk amongst yourself for like 1 second. Unless you want to hear me cough for the next hour and a half, I need to go fix this. I'll be right back.
Yeah, his new puppy gave him parvo. That's probably what happened.
Yeah. He's allergic to dogs.
Yeah.
It bit him, and he's going rabid right now.
Yeah.
It's like he'll come back like furry, like
yeah. But hey, that novella, I was impressed by it. That was written in 1938.
Yeah,
and the science in it, right? The fact that they were going to use the blood of the dog to make like cultures and stuff to test the human. I was like, what? They were even doing that stuff back then. I was expecting them to be sequencing DNA next, but it just goes to show how like science was a thing, and there were people that were writers that thought about how it all worked in. They thought about how
Campbell was brilliant.
Yeah, how to test the alien.
All right, here.
What would really I want to start shit in the chat.
I want to just open. I'm gonna open this thing. I'm gonna put up my glasses, even though my contacts in, because that way I have like 7 layers of fucking eyes here. I can actually see through things right now. It's very exciting. Oh, look, there's Mars. So this is just the opening paragraph of the novella. If you've never read the novella, I very much suggest that you do. It's not long. You can get through it in a couple hours in an afternoon. You can listen to it on YouTube. So this is the opening paragraph, just the opening paragraph. It has nothing to do with the creature or anything like that. The place stank, a queer, mingled stench that only the ice-buried cabins of an Antarctic camp would know, compounded with reeking human sweat and the heavy fish oil stench of melted seal blubber. An overtone of liniment combined with the musty smell of sweat and snow and drenched furs. the acrid odor of burnt cooking fat, and the animal, not unpleasant smell of dogs, diluted by time, hung in the air. Man, does that set a tone for you? You get the vibe, the feel of this camp in that much. And it goes on for a little bit, very descriptive writing. This designed to get your olfactory, senses going. So you get the what is this camp about? It's again, and just like the 1982 film, and it's hard for me to express this. I suppose it shouldn't be. This is an all male setting. An all male setting is a very different kind of setting.
Not in the 50s version.
Again, yes, which is why the 50s version was. What happened in the 50s version? A lot of different things. But in the all male setting, things do happen in a way that couldn't happen if there were a female present, because the men would have acted differently. There's just no way about it. There is no two ways about it. There's a reason that, and yes, you can yell at the old sailor later, that women weren't allowed on combat ships for a very long time. And did it change the tone? Yeah, it did. We didn't have pregnancies at sea before then, just in case you're curious about that. And men act in a certain way when women are in a dangerous situation. That's my 2 cents. Does it mean anything? Probably not. But I'm just letting you know that it's there.
Well, the interesting thing about the woman in the thing, there's what some of us in the genre call the Lois Lane effect that started with Superman, where you had to have that plucky female intrepid reporter or fearless whatever, or scientist, whatever she was. And you'll find them in every single like science fiction movie. There's always some sort of plucky female character, who's there showing she got the gumption to do it. Doesn't take away from the men saving everyone, but she's there to provide that some sort of plucky insight or whatever.
That was like a 50s formula for the sci-fi movies. You had she was a woman, but she was also like a scientist too.
Yeah, usually
the guy was
the main
a military guy,
scientist, or
they get married at the end.
Yeah.
Well, but yet they are. But it doesn't matter. None of these things matter.
Do you think that they added them to attract a female audience? Maybe
in 1951. Actually, I don't know about that.
I got it.
I think it was just kind of the standard writing at the time. We've talked about, and I have some. So actually, Tyler, I want to hear your feelings about this movie. Let me pull up some slides. Let's pull up 1951 first. We can jump around on this. There's no set order to this conversation. Oh, mother, dick, God, stupid, fuck, Roman, God damn it. Everything's fine.
It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, right.
A giant bear is about to attack Roman live on camera.
Yeah, you'll know Roman has been taken over by the thing when he stops talking like that.
Yeah, right.
You need a blood test, Roman.
I didn't do
you have
my
to do a blood test
preset.
right
I didn't
now.
do any of the things I'm supposed to do because I'm fucking old and I'm fucking stupid. Actually, Tyler, you can attest to that. Remember the fucking directions incident? Same thing.
Yeah, kind of hard to forget. I almost got kidnapped.
Motherfuck, fuck face, fuck. There we go. So again, so you read the book and you watched the movies, and so what was your impression of the 1951 version, which is, if you haven't read the book or seen the 1982 version, or you just saw the 1982 version, both of these are very different. So what were your feelings about the Howard Hawks production of The Thing from Another World?
Just like you said, just very different from the story or from the novella. Just kind of a straightforward scientists find something bad and they have to get rid of it. And then there's also a guy who's going to get married to a nurse or something, whatever she is.
Why are these all so
she's
small?
a secretary.
Oh, God damn it.
Basically, yeah. She's hot.
There they are. She is hot.
Yeah.
She has those pointy 50s boobs, which I find oddly attractive.
What they call those B-52s, the bra style back then.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I actually prefer the scientist's wife better in this movie. But yeah, she's the secretary of the scientist.
Yes,
It
and the
feels a little
scientist-
like Casablanca in Alaska.
Like, yeah, the guy in the
Actually,
boat, captain.
the phrasing I had for this is Frankenstein at the North Pole,
Okay, that's a little better.
because I thought that was pretty apt given the nature of the creature, which is kind of what the fuck.
It is. He does look like Frankenstein a little bit. Yeah, that's true.
He does.
And I noticed
He
that a
does.
lot of the Citizen Kane kind of camera movements, because it's a RKO production. I don't know how involved he was, but you could definitely see some similarities in that.
I think every guy in this movie except the professor has a chiseled jaw.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
everyone in the plane right now. Literally everyone in the plane.
Well, you know, that's
No
'cause-
weak chins.
Oh, and that was another thing in this movie. They made it they start out in Alaska and then they go to the North Pole.
right.
instead of
It is.
Antarctica.
It takes place in the North Pole.
Yeah, they
so
switch
switched
poles.
for some reason. I don't even know.
Here's what I think they did with the
Soviets and all that.
writing is right. They made it the North
yeah.
Pole because a lot more people can identify with that.
Well, then
It was also
Then,
a-
right, that's what I'm saying. Back
Uh-huh.
then, they made it a plant creature instead of the other thing because
Space carrot.
right, because it was easier to do the makeup for. You just put a guy in a suit and add some like claw to his hands, and the audiences weren't, in their mind, I think, weren't as sophisticated back then. So the people that were reading the novella were like people that were into it, but they wanted like regular people to come to this. And if it got really weird and nobody could understand, and also they didn't want it to be too scary because they wanted kids to
it
come.
definitely wasn't that.
Right.
Definitely wasn't
But that's what because I watched it and then I read like a synopsis on it, like for details and stuff. And that was one thing they said is that it they did it this way because they didn't want it to be too scary, so that kids would come and families and stuff.
I would love audiences in the 50s to see the 1982 version. and
Oh,
see
I
how
know,
they-
right?
Nobody like women in bathing
It would be
suits were
rated
considered like women in bathing suits back then were considered basically porn.
Yeah, if you were showing ankle.
Yeah,
man,
yeah. Well, not,
That'd be
not
R-rated.
it was a little more than ankle, but you know what I mean, and bikinis and stuff. And I know this because my great grandmother used to flip out about it all the time. She'd be like, "Oh, look at that girl on TV. She's basically naked. How do they show this stuff?" Yeah, exactly.
Why? Because we can see her. We can see her wrist, Grandma. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah. You can see
understand.
above her kneecap.
Grandma would not like any MTV music videos, probably.
But
No,
yeah,
she's
so
probably-
No.
Yeah.
when I read that it makes sense to why the movie does the things that it
Well,
does.
they do some. I mean, like I said, we all talked about this though. It's a radical departure from the novella.
It was
It's a relic of its era. That's
it
There-
was
there's-
also the highest grossing science fiction movie for that year.
yeah,
That-
it did great.
And I mean, we bang on this movie a bit, but let's take this movie independent of the source material. It's actually a very fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
Well,
It
one
is.
other
The
Mhm.
dialogue going from the Air Force Base in Alaska, the general and the captain, their back and forth is brilliant. Scotty, the reporter, then going up to the North Pole, the dealings with what's his fuck,
the
Carrington, Dr.
yeah,
Carrington,
yeah,
Dr.
Dr.
Carrington, who has the clever crest on his jacket. And again, the captain and the rest of the team, the thing himself, this fucking Frankenstein-like creature who has no ability to communicate because, that's the way it works in advance.
But yet
but-
his
but
mind
it's-
is so much more than ours. That one doctor's always
right.
talking him up like he's
Carrington.
going to be.
Carrington.
But the thing is like what sets this apart from the novella and especially from the 1982 movie is these guys are all military. They're disciplined. They're upbeat. They're like, let's get this done. It's not all everything's bad. And it's because of the era that it was made in. This is a lot of people like to do this with these movies. It's an anti-communist analogy, but it might have been. Because of the way that it ends and how they do stuff in here, it's
Right.
really not that scary once
If
you
you,
look at
you
it.
watch a lot of 1950s science fiction, I mean, that could be a whole show in and of itself. There are a lot of tropes in here with the military and all
Mhm.
that, that exist in many of those films. From a practical point of view, why they would say it's in the North Pole as opposed to the South. For one, surviving in Antarctica was way less believable back in the 50s than it is, say, now, right? There's a reason H.P. Lovecraft set stuff in Antarctica. You know, it is a much harsher place than the North Pole, unless you get way, way far north, like where no one really goes because there's no point to going there.
But it's interesting, Matt. I mean, the novella was written in 1938,
Right? Yeah.
And
It was set in Antarctica.
Campbell would have been very aware of H.P. Lovecraft in terms of the sort of science fiction horror circulating involving.
I don't think Campbell would have recognized this as anything remotely related to his work.
His stories, I mean, this story has a Lovecraftian tone to it. You have the super intelligent. The thing is super intelligent in the novella.
Right. Yes.
It's telepathic. It's relentless.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, its motives are a little open. Does it want to escape, or does it want to conquer? You know, like
that reminds me. I'm going to pull out of this thing.
It's also much more body horror in the novel and in the 82 movie than this. This thing is not really like guys aren't like sprouting heads off their shoulders and exploding and
big
stuff.
Babies.
Yeah. And John Carpenter was aware of that, like the motivation of the thing when he did the movie. Because I always say to people, if the thing really just wanted to infect humanity, it would just stay quiet and pretend to be a dog.
Right.
Right. So instead, it's trying to distract them from one of its thing satellites constructing a spaceship. Why is it constructing a spaceship? I'm pretty
because it can't stay on Antarctica.
Because I want to get off this planet before these stupid monkeys kill me.
Yes, and that was so. I sent you guys a piece of fiction that was sent to me, and this was by let's see who.
I missed it. Well, it must be somewhere in the links. I just missed it.
Did you not get this, Matt? I'm sure you got this.
It was a good read,
but I might have missed it in the link. You know.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to not give the person credit because I would not have wandered across this by myself. It's in my notes here.
Well, while you're looking there, Roman, just some basic facts about Campbell. He was born in 1910, died in 1971. He was most known as an editor, not a writer, for what in the genre we call it analog, but back then it was astounding science fiction and then analog science fiction. In fact, it was one of the longest running story journals in science fiction.
Yeah, he ghost wrote that story because he was the editor.
Yeah,
of the magazine.
One of Don Stewart, because back then editors and writers had to be separate, you know, or should have been. Like that was a weird publishing logic thing.
So this was sent to us by Spartan Flash Sentry, who has both a Twitter and YouTube phase, and it's called "The Things" by Peter Watts. Is the story. And what this is, and can I put this in my own thing? I think I can.
I know what this is.
It's basically the thing from the perspective of the thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I know what this is. And I probably read this at some point.
I am being Blair. I escape out the back as the world comes in through the front. I am being Copper. I am rising from the dead. I am being Childs. I am guarding the main entrance.
It reminds me of that Fight Club where he's like people's body parts.
Yeah, this was I thought, just a fascinating story. So it's the story of the thing from the perspective of the thing. And it uses terms that I find just very, very interesting. Like it calls when it absorbs another life, it calls that communion. And he says it's pleasurable. And it says, I'm watching Blair, I'm watching myself, I'm watching this person, I'm watching myself as these events are transpiring in the camp.
I read this at some point.
Yeah, man, it is fucking freaky and weird and cool. So I did put the link in the chat. So if you'd like to read another just kind of strange version of this thing,
and I guess from the thing's perspective, he's just kind of hanging out and everybody's just trying to kill it.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
theories.
He even talks about
doesn't
how
understand-
crazy that we are.
Everybody's
No,
going
it
crazy
also
and braining.
thinks that we don't have any intelligence. It thinks we're dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
It refers to our brain as a tumor,
Okay. Nice.
and we're
Yeah,
everybody on
it's-
this planet is locked in the brain.
Well,
Even its other extensions of itself are not recognizing each other and are very
Right.
limited. And it's funny because when this thing comes out of it talks about the crash, but it talks about itself a little bit, how it's been an ambassador, a missionary, a soldier,
Yeah.
and it's so
All these things.
been reduced because of the crash, because of its main biomass has been lessened. It's like afraid it's going to keep copying itself until it's not going to be anything of itself left. It's just going to be like, dumb creatures running around.
Yeah, it's like it was damaged somehow. Because
Mhm.
it says all those things. So I was so much more before the crash. I was an explorer, an ambassador, a missionary. I spread across the cosmos, met countless worlds, took communion. The fit shaped the union, shaped the unfit, and the whole universe bootstrapped upwards in joyful, something I can't read because my eyes suck, increments. I was a soldier at war with anthropity itself. I was the very hand by which creation perfects itself.
So what was
So
it
much
supposed to be
wisdom
one-
I had, so much experience. Now I cannot remember all the things I knew. I can only remember that I once knew them.
Interestingly, here
Is it just supposed to be one in the ship? It was just one of those things. There wasn't like a whole.
there's only ever one thing. It's a
Okay.
the
The
big
thing
shared
is-
mind.
I thought
the
like
thing.
there were multiples and only one survived the crash. Or something.
It's a mass hive mind. It can occupy different bodies at the same time, but it's always the same
Yeah.
thing.
And then what came out of the ship was what was left.
The story
Which
Watch
wasn't much.
wrote, I wonder if he read Campbell in the collection the thing came out in like the 60s, wrote another short story called Dead Knowledge, which kind of alludes to what Watts is writing about and structurally with the thing. Like it's not connected directly by Campbell. It's another short story he wrote, but I'm wondering
Right.
if he saw that and said, I can take that and an interesting take on the thing itself with what Campbell did in Dead Knowledge, So I'm not going to spoil what it's about because it's one of those things where if you spoil it, it kind of ruins it. You know what I mean? But
Right.
where sometimes you can tell what it's about and it doesn't ruin it. But this is one of the things you should read every short story he put out in that collection. Only one of them really sucks. Dead Knowledge is a 10 out of 10. Blindside is a 9 out of 10, and those are both as good or better than Who Goes
Hey,
There.
did anyone else read the extended version of this? Frozen Hell?
Oh, that's one
haven't
a
read
new
that
bit. I found out about that about 4 months ago. Apparently,
Yeah,
in 2019, they found a manuscript that Campbell had
Yep.
planned to expand into a novel, and I literally found out about that 4 months ago. You can bet I'll be reading it. If
So
I love.
if you didn't know out there, Thing fans, Frozen Hell is James W. Campbell's full story, not novella, but a full freaking novel version of this. And it's out there now. You can buy it. You can buy it.
I
You can buy it
thought
on
Frozen
Amazon.
Hell was going to be Disney's Frozen 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Who Goes There. I love the 1951 movie.
Do you
I
want to
love-
make a snowman? Do you want to burst out of my chest?
That
Do you
actually
want
wouldn't have
me
been
to
too
eat
out
your
of place in
hands?
the 50s version. Just breaking
Yeah.
it
Do you want to test my blood with electric probes to see which one
Bing Crosby, what are you
is
doing
not
here?
a man? Yeah.
To go back to what we were talking about, like filming in North Pole, there are we had a lot of military bases up there, listening stations and radar stations and whatever.
Yes, I mean, so making sense wise.
Yeah. So using those existing stations and just paying the military some money, like we want to film up there, is a pretty convenient way to get some extras and a site that looks realistic.
They did goofy things in this movie, though.
Oh yeah.
That was
They,
the 50s, Roman. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, the whole electric blanket over it, that thing would have shorted out.
Why did they bring it inside at all?
Because in the 50s, they didn't know. They're not scientists.
Well, that part made
It's
sense.
freezing outside. It's not freezing inside. So they bust the windows out to put it into like whatever
Yeah.
room this is.
They're in a non-heated room. Let's bust out the windows because
And then
It seems silly.
the one guy got creeped out by looking at it, so he threw a blanket over it that was an electric
Yeah.
blanket that was
Yeah.
plugged
Why-
in. Why
Duh.
would you have a plugged-in electric blanket just laying around? But anyway, so it melted it. But you know how long that would take to melt that block of ice?
It's a big piece of ice. Yeah, it's a big
Yeah, I
piece.
know. It would have taken it like a
Yeah,
week.
that would take a while.
And it would have electrocuted the whole thing and shorted it out.
No, that wouldn't. I mean, I don't want to be an ultra realist, but electric blankets tend to be low voltage. So as long as there's a
I don't know,
transformer in there.
1950s.
That's what I'm saying. The
No, everything had to be
1950
low voltage back then because there was no ground, so you would die if it wasn't low
That's
voltage.
what I'm saying. But I'm saying is the water would get on it is what would happen, and it would cause it to turn
But
off.
what's running through the blanket is a heating element that's like very low voltage. The actual transformer is outside the blanket. In other words, 120 volts, which is what potentially would electrocute something, doesn't get into the
Right.
blanket. There's probably like a 10 volt. I hate doing the sciencey thing. I've actually worked on electric blankets, so it's like but they're fast.
I think you're saying that the blanket would just kind of stop working, then it wouldn't cause a.
It wouldn't melt it that fast.
That's what I'm saying. It would take like
right.
a week to melt it.
Yeah, it takes like a few hours in a cold room.
Let me do something I should have done earlier, but I am a terrible host. Let's just go through the chat and see who is visiting us tonight. So we do have Stephen Ranson in the chat. Welcome, Stephen. Melvin Deeply, whom I love from the other side of the pond.
You love deeply?
I don't. Deeply is a strong term in that context. Vex Electronica, one of my favorite Canadians. I keep seeing the same name, so that's confusing me. Copa Catania, Morrissey. Welcome. You are new to the chat. John Carpenter is introducing the thing right now in Texas. I don't know what that means. I'm
Cool.
I don't know what that means.
There's a movie version, like he's introducing a showing.
Jana Catania is out there as well. Lady friend. Nosferatu, the vampire, my favorite undead mod. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Subtle deviancies in the house.
And we are. I saw a couple of Zax. Always wonderful to have Zax in the house. Subtle deviancy, who is peculiar but fascinating at the same time. Welcome to the show. I'm still rolling through like a fucking weirdo. Spartan Flash Sentry. Hey, you're late, but you're here. I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you for showing up here. We'll do a highlight of your comment. So thank you for sharing that fascinating story from the point of view of the thing, the entity itself. I really dug that. I think everybody who read that thought it was just like, man, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can almost see through like this weird fisheye lens what it sees when it's reading these things. It was good. I appreciate you doing that. Thanks.
So I just did some badly remembered physics in my head. I'm not sure if the room temperature is below freezing, if an electric blanket could even melt that object. Because the way heat transfers is you generate heat. You don't make things colder. You make them warmer. Physics, entropy. So the air being colder would continually freeze the water that's being melted. In other words, the block of ice itself would transfer heat into the air continually,
Right.
And so there'd be a surface layer of moisture. How like under glaciers, there's a layer of moisture that never freezes,
which is constantly freezing.
The weight of the heat melts it, but the glacier itself can't melt because there's such a thermal mass of cold up there.
That's
Jacob
right.
Ironside in the chat.
Hey, Jacob.
Hey, what's up, man?
Jacob Ironside.
That's right, chat. We're all super nerds because we're talking about how an electric blanket would melt.
In
Why the fuck
1950s.
is that electric
Blanket,
blanket?
guys.
But hey, it's interesting stuff.
We're going to deep dive into the science of the
Even
thing.
the alien has a chiseled jaw. Look at it.
Oh, yeah. It's,
He does have a
Gunsmoke.
unibrow,
James
though.
Arness. James Arness, yes.
Yeah, I
Lord.
think only weak chin in this whole movie is the scientist. So.
Yeah.
Oh my. Dr. Carrington?
Well, he has
Dressed
the
in
evil
a jacket?
scientist beard.
Yeah, he's hiding.
Yeah, he has. Yep, the mad scientist, beard with haircut.
Is that Jack Palance? I don't think
No.
I don't believe that is
Nah,
Jack
he's not in
Palance,
this
but I
movie.
can
the
I
guy
didn't
on
see
the
him on the
left. I have
credits.
to. Now I got to go look.
Nope.
No, he wasn't in this.
So, if you're just joining us, we're looking at a casual conversation about the differences between the 1938 novella, Who Goes There, the 1951 film, The Thing from Another World, produced by Howard Hawks, and 1982's The Thing, which we haven't really even got our fingers in yet, but that's my personal favorite.
Copa wants to talk about that movie that we don't talk about.
Shut the fuck up, Copa. We are not talking about 2011. We are just not doing it. It was terrible. 2011 was terrible.
I'm gonna have to go see that one after this. If
No,
Copa approves.
no, Tyler, you shouldn't. That's a nice frame shot, though.
If you want a great sequel to the John Carpenter movie, The Thing video game.
Yeah, I heard
video
that
game was fucking great. Oh
Yeah.
my god!
It does spoil the answer as who if either of them are things.
Which I think actually, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it with this Matt, but
Yeah.
I
won't
think it
say
was
either, but
wrong. I still think I still think the game was wrong.
But
But
Carpenter himself came out and confirmed it. So
did he? No.
Yeah. No, he did.
I love this shot. How the professor is the smallest, and prissiest of the group.
Look at that guy.
No chin.
Love that jacket.
Chin. Look at that chin on fucking Frankenstein up there.
He can bludgeon
Even
someone.
a fucking gay reporter has a chin. And then there's this fucking guy in the
with the
middle.
really weird. Look at his hairline. The reporter's hairline.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of his head.
I know.
In the middle of the stare of death he's giving the scientist.
But one thing I did like about this movie is having been in the military is seeing like the uniforms that these guys had and like the stuff, the snowsuits made out of nylon and the flight suits and all that kind of stuff. Because that's like back when the gear was good. Like they had leather jackets and
they're probably actually using stuff from the military bases up there.
Yeah. But this is what I mean is all the uniforms are authentic. This isn't just like some costume stuff they threw on.
Right.
So somebody mentioned in the chat that there's a prequel.
That's the
2011.
With 2011.
Yeah, it has Mary
It's
Elizabeth Winstead or whatever in it.
It's called The Thing as well. So
yeah, which is the biggest problem.
But it's the prequel to the 82 one.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it takes place in the Norwegian camp.
Right.
You find out what happens.
Okay. Kind of gets to the part where the dog runs away or something like that.
Right, and then they're trying to shoot the dog from the helicopter. Everything leading up to that happens in the 2011.
The best part of that movie is the end of that movie. Really, where they're chasing the dog down. That's my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of inconsistencies otherwise in that movie. The lady who got away from what's his fuck in the big snowplow is she's just still out there on the ice? Right? She got away. Right?
I don't know where she said she was going.
But obviously nothing.
She's going to be in the in that one where they find the caveman in the ice.
God damn it!
And then they thaw him out, and he goes on a vision quest. She's going to be.
Is that the one on the train? Is that the train movie? Or are we talking about the updated train movie?
No, that's the old. It's the old. Oh, what was it called? Iceman. It's called Iceman.
Iceman. Yeah, Timothy Barton's and it was.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
That takes place in Antarctica too, I think.
Cannoli.
Melvin Neely wrote like a long thing here. Someone was talking about this earlier. Apparently, in the 1980s, humans had reflections in their eyes, and the people who had been thinged don't. That's interesting. I don't know that. I would need to look at that again.
One of the things at the end is Keith David
Tyler,
doesn't have
you just saw this.
breath.
I don't
moisture
remember
either.
reflections.
I
in the
can't
movie.
talk about,
reflections
like-
in their eyes. Yeah, I didn't watch it that close.
I can't talk about like the clues that Carpenter gives you in the movie because it would spoil it. So
I was distracted by the amount of like ice that Kurt Russell had in his beard.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
I
ice in
barely
the
walked
beard,
outside.
right?
Just
I
like,
love this scene.
so much.
This is one of
ice.
my favorite scenes in this whole movie.
This is one of the batshit crazy scenes that
Yeah.
almost got everybody get killed.
The framing that the director gives with the light behind the monster
Mhm.
shadowing him, and they're in the shadows, and the sense of confrontation there. This whole like 4 minutes or so of the movie.
No, it looks spectacular.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh yeah, this scene coming up where I don't know, they would
Really?
never be able to do this today.
No.
They're like literally throwing kerosene on this dude and lighting it on fire.
Yes,
And-
they literally lit him on fire. This
Lit
is
the whole
not
room
that
on
scene.
fire.
Oh yeah,
too.
this
This
is
is
the scene after. Sorry, I was looking at the other.
Yeah, no, you're right. They lit that whole room on fire. There's like women and children and small.
So there,
families
yeah,
and-
the secretary is behind a mattress, right? And
Mhm.
yes,
so he takes a swing at it, it cuts it open, there's like fire on it and everything, which is cool. But then they throw another bucket and the flames literally go underneath of it. I was like, what the? But one of the trivia things is that was one of the very first scenes where they had a guy in a full suit and they lit him on fire like that. Where it was like the stuntman or whatever. But yeah, I don't know how you could never do that. Today it'd all be CGI. It looked like crap.
Yeah.
yeah.
Back
you're right.
then, I mean,
Yeah.
that must have been one hell of a
Well,
shoot.
this is still, I think, when they were like still killing animals and stuff for movies too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if somebody died in film, so what? You know.
We killed 7 horses today. Who cares if Bob got a second-degree burn?
Yeah, like we need to kill a bunch of dogs for the movie so that the guy can get their blood. And like, all right, we'll just go out and really do it.
Yeah, right.
And I think in the novella they use like tasers or like electricity on it, right? And then they switch to fire for the 50s movie. Is that? Did I?
No, in the 50s movie, so they
Yeah,
try to
Tom.
burn him, and he runs out and regenerates, and then they kill him with
Yes.
electricity.
Okay.
And then they cook them.
Yeah,
But then in the 80s movie, it's just all fire.
Yeah.
There
right.
it is. That's the one where he's like ablaze.
Well, because the actual electrocution scene in this movie is ridiculous.
I hate that. I actually hate that last.
He looks
scene
like a
lot.
burnt turnip at the end.
Well, it's just the
Does.
special effects for the electricity and how they show it working wouldn't make any sense unless he had like metal bars pierced through him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1951.
Whoosh.
Like I said, if you just watch it on its own, it is a fun movie.
Well, the crazy thing in the 82 version is the part where to the end where McReady tosses the dynamite at it. That almost blew his hand off because with the fuse, he thought it'd be longer, so he threw it. He wasn't
Oh,
expecting
shit.
it to blow up as fast.
Yeah, it was the
Man.
80s. They were still rolling hard then.
Yeah,
Yeah, real dynamite.
Yeah,
It's just dynamite, Kurt. You can handle it. Sure.
no problem.
Yeah.
Make sure you
I don't need to
throw
stunt that for
it.
a stick of dynamite.
Yeah, it
these
blew up. It
days,
was like, oops.
the only people still doing all that real kind of stuff is Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, really. Or the Indians or Japanese or Koreans.
All right, here we go.
Ah, there we are. Yes.
There you go.
Wish you were here. Kind of funny, kind of sad.
Yeah.
Different versions of the poster. The opening sequence with the helicopter is just it's just such a great cinematic scene.
And his
With
soundtrack.
the blue ice and all the just flying over, and then you get the guy and he starts shooting at the dog, and it's just weird. It's weird and it seems out of place when it happens.
and you got the Carpenter soundtrack. That didn't.
Yeah, the Carpenter soundtrack. So interesting thing. So you have the Thing soundtrack, which is Enrico
Morricone.
who did all these spaghetti western soundtracks and the soundtrack for
Who said Rico Suave?
Not Suave. Suave is an incorrect answer. God damn it. But the John Carpenter stuff isn't on those soundtracks. That bum bum.
Ah,
Bum bum.
What's up, Copa?
Yo,
Copa!
what's going on? So this is where
Copa, don't fucking say it.
So-
Don't fucking say it.
this is where 2011 left off, and so let's just go back. Let's go back and revisit 2011. What's wrong, guys? Seriously, honestly, what is wrong with 2011? It was marketed wrong. That was it. It was titled wrong. That was it.
No.
It was miscast. It had a crappy script. The
Bad
CGI was
effects.
terrible.
It was okay at best. It's a 6 out of 10. It's not that fucking bad, dudes.
6 out of 10 is pretty bad, isn't it?
No, that's
not when
that's a
you're
D.
comparing it to
That's a solid
10
D
out of
film.
10.
D is pretty bad, is it not? D is almost failing.
Hell no, dude.
Yeah,
You
D-
can
D
still
is-
pass
D
high
is
school with a
almost-
D.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will admit, I got by on nothing but
That's not a
D's.
good student.
Yeah, D's nuts.
God
But
damn
honestly,
it.
seriously, dudes, like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I mean, yeah, fine, it's a girl, ew, but still, like, it wasn't that bad. See, look, Roman, can you pull up some panels of 2011 so we could go through it?
No, I can't. You know why I can't, Copa? Because I don't fucking have them.
Just pretend this ping pong scene is set like 20 years later.
You know what? You guys go ahead and talk about 82, and I'll bring up what's going on the other side of the base during 2011. What's going on over there?
Yeah,
Hey, look at
things
that
that
wall.
don't make sense.
You
Again,
wouldn't see
women
that.
on
You
the
wouldn't see
site
that today, yeah.
fuck up the site almost immediately.
Yeah, it's gross. You know, I don't like.
It just does.
Yeah, well, that's the whole reason why the thing was left out is because they had a woman on base. But other than that, it was okay. Just accept that it was okay. It wasn't like the shittiest movie ever made. It was shitty marketing.
There are worse movies. Yes, there are definitely worse movies. But as a sequel to one of the greatest sci-fi movies,
Just to caveat this take that Copa has, everybody realize he's sleep deprived. Clearly sleep deprived. So
he's probably high.
He's clearly hallucinating.
just because I have ants in my vision doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about right now, right?
There are in fact women in John Carpenter's thing. You can see them on the wall right there.
That's
I'm
all.
sorry,
That's all
yes,
you
I
need.
forgot.
There you go.
Hey, you haven't seen the 2011 one, right, Tyler?
No.
No. Okay. So you.
There's the star of the 2011 one right there.
I'll watch it if it has Wilford Brimley. Does it have Wilford Brimley?
It does not have
No.
Wilford Brimley.
Wilford Brimley is a co-star in that movie. You should watch it.
All right. Well, then
He's constantly talking about diabetes.
There's
in that
no
one.
diabetes.
Yes, then I got
You know what the fucked up thing is, Copa? Wilford Brimley is actually younger in The Thing than I am now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like how this dude like aged up to 70 and then
It
just
does-
never.
It is concerning.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
People do that though.
Wilford
They
Brimley,
like
in
eight,
fact,
they
has
hit
never
like
been young.
50 and then they know.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
they turn to 80.
I saw today they were listing the ages of people in Cheers, and that was
isn't that crazy?
yeah.
Like it's like Angela
How old
Lansbury.
is Ted Danson here? Good lord.
Like Angela Lansbury was 25 when she did Manchurian Candidate. And she looks just like Angela Lansbury from Murder, She Wrote.
Mhm.
Did you ever see Angela Lansbury in the 40s though?
Oh no,
Yeah, she had it going on.
did she really for real?
Yeah.
And then she hit like 30 and aged up
Well,
to
that's what
70 and then
happened back
stopped.
then when all you did was
That's
drink
true.
and smoke constantly.
When you go through the Great Depression and 2 world wars and shit.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Kind of ages you prematurely.
I like how this entire computer is Chess Wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole computer is chess was. But
And
yeah,
they poured-
McCready
they poured
decides,
some
fuck
liquid
it,
in
I'm
and
going to
burned
dump
it,
it.
which is probably
My
Yeah,
grandfather
bitch.
had so many bottles of J&B that when he died, we still had like 10 to 15 of them left in his stock. Like he got to when he was in his 50s or whatever. He would start working in a liquor store. I think he had hundreds of them at some point.
So he does the boss move here, which is loses and then pours his drink on the fucking computer.
Which is probably like a $10,000 computer. Right?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Cheating bitch.
Take that, you one programmed bitch.
That's like 1/10 of the budget of the movie right there.
Yeah.
So this
So
is
we
the
get
dog
one
from 2011.
Shut the fuck up, Gopa.
The thing is like, oh my god, one of those monkeys is coming near me right now. What am I gonna do?
Gopa, you're killing me.
I'm sorry, dude.
No,
I thought
good point there.
I really thought it was going to be your driveway that killed you, but it's going to be me by the end of this segment here. Let's go.
Can you imagine, like, if you're the Thing and maybe you're on vacation flying through space and your ship crashes on a primitive planet and you get frozen up and you wake up and a bunch of stupid monkeys are trying to kill you?
Well, that's why when they fly by our planet, they lock the doors. You know, they don't want to.
Maybe you should just keep on flying. Go back to
Like,
your
like in the Thing, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it goes populated by violent monkeys. Do not land here. He just crashed.
We just have a giant no trespassing sign out there.
Yeah, the moon's got a big old no trespass.
Like on Thing Homeworld, there's a Thing Steve Irwin like on Earth going, looky here.
Except he's in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy is not conservative with these.
He's like,
is
the
this
Thing
thermite?
Steve Irwin's like, when you give them sugar, they go nuts.
God. I love this dude. Whoop.
Yeah, this home dude here is based, and I want his sunglasses too.
He's based. The dude with the pistol.
Yeah, him
One
too.
shot takes the guy out.
But
That is a
I always
hell of a
question the
shot.
logic. Why would you kill a human being who's shooting at a dog? That always kind of buggered me.
Oh, he shot another guy. He shot one of their guys.
Did he? I'm trying to remember the beginning. Did he?
I think he shot at him, right?
But
No,
then-
he
I'm
yeah,
trying
they
to
have to
remember
like,
the
sew up one of the
sequences.
guys.
Yeah, he hits one of the guys on the leg.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think we'll
well-
have to go back and look at the 2011 movie to find out.
Yeah, you gotta find out. I mean, see, you don't understand his rage. The only thing that symbolizes this dude's rage right now is the helicopter exploding. But if you go back to 2011 and watch it, you totally understand where he's coming from, his motivations, his drive to kill this dog. I mean, it's totally the missing piece to the puzzle, guys.
Is the dog the symbol of toxic masculinity in the 2011 version, or
No, it's a symbol of awesomeness, you know.
they don't have to like fight the
The
patriarchy? or
2011 version, it's an African American dog. They recast it. You know, it's like a BIPOC dog. You know,
It's sort of like what the Little Mermaid did with horses. Did you guys see that?
Oh God.
They took the white horse and made it black. And I said, "Oh well, it's going to fail in China. Everybody knows the Chinese hates black horses."
Uh-huh.
Well, did you hear that they actually lightened her skin tone for the Chinese film?
I don't even.
Oh, did they do that?
I
Yes,
heard
they
that.
did.
Horse in the original Little Mermaid?
In a carriage, the carriage horse.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was a carriage horse and it was
It must
white,
not
and then
have
they
been
made
like
it black.
a movie. I don't remember that at all.
I know in the movie poster they did a blue filter so you couldn't tell she's black at all.
Yeah. Even the clouds are black in the new one. There's no white clouds whatsoever. Disney said,
Yeah,
"No
I'm
way,
sure Melissa McCarthy's terrible.
no way, dude. She's the greatest fat actress of our time."
But she's better than
Body
Lizzo?
positive, sir.
There you
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Lizzo seems like a great actress too, right, guys?
Oh yeah, like she totally nailed it in Mandalorian. My God,
As the Death Star. Yeah.
I hope she gets a spin-off. Just her and Jack Black running a planet into the fucking ground. That would be a phenomenal show for Disney. Disney minus.
D minus.
D
Yeah,
minus.
The name of the episode will be Universal Income.
Jesus Christ. I fucking wander off for a minute. We go from the fucking thing to fucking Disney's goddamn race swapped fucking Little
Race swapped
Mermaid
clouds, dude. It's
and
happening.
horses that are the wrong color.
Hey, at least
What
we
the
aren't showing.
absolute fuck, guys?
At least we aren't
We're
showing
gone for a
Japanese
minute.
anime clips.
Yeah,
on
we
the
haven't
show.
done that in a while.
Exactly. Horses fucking and merman.
That's a good one,
crazy
Subtle.
carousel.
I got a laugh out of
I
that.
can't leave you
Okay.
people alone for a moment.
No, you should know that by now.
I know.
Good Lord, Roman.
I know.
Now
And
these
this
guys,
is
they
the
have
guy
that
that's
guy chin.
the dad from Something About Mary, right?
Yeah, can we all admit that Keith,
Yes.
Keith David
That
is
is
the
the dad
shit
from
in like
Something About
every
Mary.
film he's in?
Hell
What's his
yeah.
name? Keith David?
Keith
Yeah,
David, yeah.
he was
Yeah,
in
Keith David.
Okay.
I'm blanking. The movie we just reviewed a little while ago.
They live.
Yeah, they live.
Yeah, They Live. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
No
awesome.
Carpenter movie.
He's also in this really happy go lucky movie called Requiem for a Dream, where he takes Jennifer Connelly's innocence away from her in one scene.
did
He
other
has a little
movies
cameo
too,
there. It was really gentle and nice.
He
did
was
the
in
voice
a.
of the Spawn.
He's a nice guy.
Ugh.
He's
Yeah.
a genuine nice guy. I'm
Oh, he's
sure.
also in Platoon.
He was in a Steven Seagal movie too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was Mark
I
for
think
Death.
it's called Fuck Steven
Yeah, yeah.
Seagal. I believe that was the name of it.
One of the ones with 3 names in the title, like Hard to
My
Kill.
volume is
Hard
low.
to
Is my
Death,
volume low?
one of those.
No,
No?
I can hear you.
Melvin Deeply is saying my
He was in the
volume is
Puppet
low.
Masters. I remember that.
Hang on, let me check because I don't know.
he's also the voice of Spawn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
His voice is
Oh,
amazing.
he was like the Colonel in Armageddon.
Dude,
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff.
Spartan Flash Sentry is the only person I know who watched Range 15. Oh my
He
god.
was
I
in
turned it
Pitch
up a little
Black.
bit, Mervin.
I remember that much.
Oh, you're talking about the one that the Black Rifle
Yeah.
guys made.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it went a
It's-
little.
This
It
was
was
a
a little
creepy
too
shot
far.
here with the dog just.
It was all right.
The only thing I like about that movie, Shield Wall, is Gene Vanderham. Remember him in the movie? The only thing that gets Gene Vanderham 6 is Gene Vanderham.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I have no idea what the fuck
That
you're
movie
talking
was
about.
so
Coco.
bananas. I hardly remember anything. That
Oh,
happened.
dude, you got to watch. Like, I'm sure YouTube has something like the best of Gene Vanderham. He was the best part of the whole film.
So like Thing Dog is on reconnaissance, looking for the monkeys, seeing where they are. You know.
This was a cool shot with the guy in the shadow and the dog.
It was.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask an odd question. Does anybody like the 1951 version better?
I like
No.
Thing equally well because
I like Howard Hawks, but no, it doesn't come close to the Thing 80,
Okay.
82.
No, I do. I
Well,
actually
okay.
really do enjoy that movie, despite me giving it a lot of shit.
technically I
fun
like
movie.
Horror Express more than both of these two.
I mean,
I
comparing
know,
it to
like,
the
yeah,
82
Horror
version,
Express,
yeah,
I wish we could
I like
actually-
it, but I didn't like it better than the 82 version.
I mean, if we're
Okay.
comparing 2011 to 82,
We're not.
Copa.
This is fun. Usually, I'm the guy that's getting piled on. Now it's Copa.
yeah, but you like getting piled on.
Well, it is Thursday night.
Sweet
That's normally
mother
Just
Oh,
say pile
God.
on, pile on.
I gotta head out to the bars here and get the pile on.
Yeah. That's why you're in the private chat. Like, hurry it up, guys.
Just turn off the lights and play with Who's in My Mouth. Too far?
That's so not good. So here we're at the Norwegian camp.
Oh, you guys want to know something about the Norwegian camp in 2011? All right, I'm just gonna. Come on,
Go.
come on, Roman.
There's got to be
You have
something
15
interesting
seconds,
out of that
Copa. You have
movie.
15
No, I'm
fucking seconds to say what you're gonna fucking say.
Well,
15
shit, you're
seconds.
you were supposed to stop me. I have nothing for this.
Oh, I thought you were going
They
to say
actually
something
did
of,
a good job.
interest there.
I'm gonna give the 2011 movie one prop. They did a very nice job recreating the
Yes.
Norwegian camp based on this film.
Yeah,
They did, and I
They did.
cannot take that away.
And
they
I
did,
need to-
and they went
Hey.
with a lot of stuff practical as well, except for
When
the,
they tried to go more, but then fucking the producers
Yeah.
got involved and really fucked it up.
the
right.
studio changed
But-
a lot of the movie, changed the
But it
special
was
effects,
fucked up
so-
from the get go because there were women at the camp.
No.
Well,
Well, on that same note, the Navy's fucked up because there's women on ships.
Now, Copa, now, not in 1980 fucking 2.
well, the Norwegians were kind of progressive. They
But she was-
have been there to
God
help
damn it,
facilitate
man.
needs.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, wasn't she like a scientist or something?
Yeah, she was totally a scientist.
Yeah.
With
Yeah, they-
boobs.
Yeah, I could tell. She
Brought her-
totally
She's a
acted like a
sexologist.
scientist.
So this
She's
burned
a
out camp
sexologist.
is the camp they filmed at. They just burned it.
Yes.
Is she
And
in
they
the
came
picture?
Yeah, this is the scene. Yeah, this is all the stuff they used for the American camp.
Oh,
They
in
just set it on
82?
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
They
still
burned it.
there?
Well, once
No,
they got
no,
filming
no,
the Americans,
no,
So they
no.
recreated it.
they burned the set, and then they came and said,
And
"This
then-
is the Norwegian set now."
For the Norwegian camp in 1982.
Oh, I thought you were okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the 2011 movie.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they knew.
Copa!
They knew 30 years later they're going to make a prequel called The Thing.
I thought they just left it. They were like,
It was
F
still
it, and then
perfectly
left it out
intact.
here. And that stuff doesn't ever rot, right?
Well,
So
to be honest with you, there's a set in New Mexico named the Silverado set, and they use a lot of westerns for it because it was built for Silverado, and they just never struck it down. So now they just go out there and shoot in New Mexico on the Silverado set.
yeah,
It's out in
and
the middle of fucking
it's
nowhere.
so dry there. It rains every once in a while, but it's so dry that that stuff will just sit out there for you can drive through New Mexico and still see 100-year-old abandoned houses on the side of the road.
There are so many abandoned buildings and cities and towns and malls in America. Like this whole YouTube channel, people's exploring them. Like if you wanted to do a movie where you film like a mall burning down, go find that mall over there, just burn that down, and it'll count as property clearance. It's like
My favorite piece of John Carpenter trivia is actually Escape from New York, where they shot all the New York scenes in, where was it? Columbus, Ohio, after it
St.
burnt down?
Louis.
St. Louis.
It was St. Louis, yeah.
Louis.
Just remember, if you're going to do that, Matt, it's got to be peaceful when you do
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to hold a
everything-
fist in
burning
your
down
air.
buildings is always peaceful. That's what we learned in the summer of love.
Yep, there's its original.
Yeah, this whole walk through the Norwegian camp was just so fucking good. Now, again, none of this stuff wasn't in the novel, obviously. They found the ship out at, they were getting a weird magnetic anomaly, which is why they went out to investigate it in the novel, the novella.
And that was one of the things about the 51 movie. They're like flying around, they're like, oh, the Geiger counter's maxed out. It's
Right.
like, dude, if the Geiger counter is maxed out and you're in the air flying, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like Chernobyl would be like a slight suntan.
But I actually, I mean, the stuff they did in the book, I mean, actually, I would, if you got to see it, a fully produced film like this of the book, I think it would be just as good as this. If it, as far as the plot points and all that stuff goes, I think it works still. The Alien, I think, would be a little bit different because you actually did see the thing in that, that weird blue state with the fucking chin hairs and,
If
and
they
the
ever
three
did
big
another
red eyes.
adaptation of it, I would like to see them do a miniseries that's done 24 style, like real time.
Hmm.
That would be a lot of paranoia, like you'd set
Right.
the actors,
I
That'd
could see
actually
that.
work. Like thinking about it, that would actually kind of work.
Or have the guy who did Train to Busan do it. Either way would work.
Ooh, yeah.
That guy gets horror.
And
Because,
one
I
of the
mean-
biggest things this movie didn't make money on it was because it was so scary that people can handle it.
Yeah.
I remember
But look at that. Look how good that looks.
it looks
scary.
tangible. See, this is the problem I have with modern filmmaking is that this scene would definitely be CGI and your mind already knows it's not real. But this,
Right.
it catches the light because the light is in the room with it. The actors get to react to it.
They can touch it.
They could
it
touch
looks
it.
Gooey.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it-
what 2011 was so bad. well, that's one of the reasons 2011 was so bad. There were a lot of reasons, but the CGI
It
when
was
it came to
awful.
the stuff really well. Also, I mean, it wasn't supposed to be there. That was a bad production choice at a later stage.
Here's the problem I have with 2011. It didn't need to be told because the
Also,
story.
you're right. It didn't need to happen at all. I agree
It didn't
with
need to
that
happen at all
completely.
because what we need to know about the Norwegian camp we're getting here. I don't need to know how the rest of it happened.
Yes.
That's the
But
major
money.
problem I had with 2011 was this was just a useless story.
But there's money to be made.
Not really. I mean, first of all, the thing has a cult status at this point. I wouldn't say it's obviously a classic, but 30 years later after the fact, trying to put out a Thing movie is just
The other
that's
thing,
throwing away money unless it's actually good, and it wasn't that good.
the other
It was
thing,
okay.
Tyler, is I don't think Hollywood was in the let's just start dredging up all our old franchises and remaking them over and over again. They were kind of in that phase for some of them, but for others they weren't. It wasn't until like 2017, 2016, 2018, somewhere in there, where you started to see this trend, especially when you got streaming, and everyone's like,
this,
"How can
this would be around the time that they were remaking like The Hills Have Eyes and The Fog and all that stuff.
Yes.
They went through a phase where they just remade anything that was
The Mist.
any horror movie that was.
Oh yeah, you're talking about horror movies. Yeah, I was thinking just in general, like how it is now, where everybody is just desperate for content, so they're trying to remake any little thing they can.
Hey, Cannoli.
What's up, Cannoli?
Yo,
I think this movie was released probably in the wrong year, maybe a year or two later, because like 82 was a great year for science fiction, and then like I think didn't The Weekend came out against Blade Runner or ET, one of the two of them.
yeah, but Blade Runner
Well,
failed.
and
Yeah, at the box office.
John Carpenter felt really butthurt about how badly the Thing did at theaters.
Yeah.
He did.
I would too, because this is one of the most perfect horror movies of all time.
No, it is. The problem with the Thing in that time period, well, one was just timing in theater release. What are you against? Well, fuck. It was literally up against fucking T. That stupid gray cocksucking piece of shit.
Yeah, with his sausage
dumps.
dick fingers.
I fucking hate ET. I hate that.
I hate
little
ET too.
motherfucker.
I hated that.
Always hated ET, man.
The stupid Reese's Pieces crap.
Yeah.
Fuck
But that was a
ET
big
and
deal
his
for
weird
science
fucking
fiction.
Figure everybody.
The best part was Elliot's brother. I can't even remember his name, but you punk Elliot all the time. I'm like, punk him harder, dude. Like your little brother is a fucking nerd.
And then the Speak and Spell, making a calm thing out of the Speak and Spell. I had a Speak and Spell in the 70s, and I knew that was BS right away.
Right? It was
So
a
you
Speak and
didn't make
Spell,
a
a saw
machine
blade,
that
and a
could keep the
piece
space?
of yarn,
Yeah.
and he talked to aliens with it. Get out
I
of
think
here.
Shieldwall just didn't have the aptitude. I'm a little disappointed in him, frankly.
That worked for the Doctor in Doctor Who.
Yeah, but he had a sonic screwdriver.
It worked for Spock.
Oh yeah, it was just the wrong year and the wrong. There was so much science fiction and like, was it Star Trek 2 was out, Mad Max 2, E.T., Blade Runner.
The summer of '82 was full. I don't
Conan
remember.
the
I don't know what month
Barbarian,
this came out.
Poltergeist.
But I do know it was directly up against E.T. And Carpenter, like I said, Carpenter was just really disappointed. Because this was his because he went on sabbatical for a while after this one.
He got fired. He had just gotten a gigantic contract because his previous Halloween and all really successful. So this was
Escape from New York. Escape from New York.
You know how what directors after a couple successful movies they get one of they'll let them do anything for one movie type of thing. This was anything for one movie, and then for some reason the studio executive said, "Whoa, we're going to fire this guy to get out of the contract."
Did you guys see what movies were out when it was released?
We know Blade Runner.
I think you said Blade Runner. And
Okay, so check this out. This is
also a flop.
Yeah, it opened up at number 8 because the first 7 movies were E.T., Blade Runner, Firefox, the Clint Eastwood movie, Rocky 3, Star Trek, the Wrath of Khan, Annie, Poltergeist.
Jeez,
yeah, good fucking luck.
Yeah, no kidding.
My God. See,
Wilford Brimley looks
remember,
just
I've
so
spoken
bizarre
about this
without him.
before on streams when you had like a whole theater full of fucking movies that were like the hits.
Mhm.
And go to the theater now and tell me what are the hits.
That's what I've been saying is, back in the day, you couldn't buy enough movie tickets to
Right.
see all
No,
the
for
like,
summer. Yeah.
yeah. But
So do
you
it
had
for
to
videotape.
you struggled to figure out the one movie you wanted to watch that weekend at the movie theater, and then the rest of them you were like, okay, well, I have to catch that
I'll
up.
catch it. I'll catch it next week because it'll
Usually
be
when you wanted to see
fucking
it
month.
sold out, you had to go see something else.
Now it's flip flopped. It's like, geez, like when is another good movie going to come out? And that's another
Right.
thing too, is that we see good movies now and we think, holy shit, that's an instant classic. Like Ford versus Ferrari. Everybody thinks Ford versus Ferrari is like one of the best films ever made in the last 10 years. And I'm like, dude, if this movie came out in the 70s or 80s, it's mid at best.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
This
yeah,
movie wasn't mid. I loved these scenes.
yeah,
looked
the
really
spaceship
good.
was really cool. I wanted them to like find out more about it. Go in there, look
Yeah.
around or something.
You can find out more about it in the 2011 version of the
Shut
thing.
up, Copa. Shut the fuck
You actually see it
up.
run.
You actually see it run, and they actually go inside.
Yeah, that's what blew all the fucking stuff off the ice was the 2011 version, remember?
Yeah.
That was fucking stupid and gay, in case anybody is curious. And nor does it make any fucking sense.
It's about as useful as
so-
the Solo movie is to Star Wars.
Well,
Like, oh, I
that,
didn't
that
know
was
about
like that was like Pop stream earlier today about the Star Wars holiday special. Everyone bagging on it. That thing looks like Shakespeare compared to the stuff that they're putting out now.
It's so
Yeah.
I rewatched it and I go, well, it's not that bad. And I think I go, well, it's not that
really
bad because of the
It's
bullshit that's coming
terrible.
out today.
Right. I mean, wasn't like Sigmund the fucking sea monster in that thing or something?
Yeah, he was.
He
I'm
was.
mistaken.
He was.
He was.
And then they brought him back for Mandalorian season 3.
Yes.
He pilots a ship with a
And
wheel.
repeating his appearance, it'd be Sigmund the sea monster from the holiday special.
Wait, I can't remember how Sigmund talked. Didn't he have like a lisp or something? It's like, I'm Sigmund the sea monster or something like
Yeah,
that.
in case
Yeah.
anybody out there who doesn't know what we're talking about, Sigmund the Sea Monster was a part of a series called Croft. Fucking.
Sid and Croft. I actually have the whole series because it was my
Oh,
childhood.
yes.
Sid and Marty Croft, superstar, something like that.
Right.
Sigmund
And
the
it
Sea
was like
Monster. There was like
people in suits
Yeah.
doing
People in
goofy
acid.
shows
the
with.
Puffin Stuff
with
Gang.
youth.
There were four.
But
or
they
five-
were all the rage. They really were. They were very
Well,
popular.
it's really good kids programming, you know.
I
But
mean,
anyway,
it's far better now than having the trannies read to you in a library. So I'll give
regarding
you
this
that.
image, okay.
Yeah, but they still look like Sigmund the sea monster.
for
That is true.
here's some scientific factism. It's supposed to be 100,000-year-old crash. It should be miles deeper than that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sigmund for a second.
No,
there.
I'm talking about the ship.
Oh,
in there.
okay.
That's like maybe a kilometer or two at most, depending how big the disc of the ship is.
Did
know.
they explain that in the 2011 movie, Copa?
Yes.
Right,
Yes,
now.
Copa, you gotta
Well,
have-
actually, and even in the novel, remember, guys, in the novel they said it was like what 20 million years.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
insane.
I think they-
20 million years
It
under
was,
the
it was
ice.
millions of years. Yeah.
I do
You know,
think
honestly, have ice
they
20
tried
million
to
years ago?
carbon date it in the 2011 movie. If I'm not mistaken. It's been a
In
while
this
since I've
one,
seen
they
it.
didn't try. They didn't use thermite for anything in this one, though.
In the book and in the 1950s movie,
Yes, they use thermite.
use
and
thermite and
they fuck up the ship both
and
times.
it burns because the ship is made out of magnesium or something. It burns the whole
Yes.
thing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny thing is, this one they actually have a whole fucking ship out there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
The answer is yes.
yeah, but
But no one else wants to go out to look at this site. I'm sorry,
do you mean?
awkward silence.
no, what do you
Why
mean?
did no one else from Outpost 31 want to go look at the site with the alien fucking spaceship?
Did they even tell them?
did
Oh, because there's a storm coming is why.
Yeah.
They had to
Yeah.
get back in there because
Okay.
of the storm. And then all this happens while the storm's going on, so they really
You
can't.
gotta
Okay,
remember,
okay.
Antarctica is someplace you do not want to be. If there's a storm or it's night, you don't want to be out of shelter. I don't care if you have 18-layer thick, super thermal space insulation. It's not a place humans are meant to be without shelter from the storm.
To just
But-
give you an idea of that, last night I had a bad storm come through my area, right? So I was looking at the weather, and I saw this new. It was like, look at the world map, and it would let you spin it. You could see what temperatures were. So I went to the South Pole to see what the temperature was. It was minus 81 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeesh.
So yeah,
That's chilly. That's a little cold.
Without the wind chill, even.
Yeah, but did you have a fucking sweet ass hat like MacReady did?
no,
Yeah,
I
right.
always wanted a hat like that.
No, me too.
I want to get
dude.
one of those too, but
Combs
then I
and
said
burrows.
I was doing a cultural appropriation.
Appropriation, yeah, exactly.
Why is
and
it
then I said,
cultural-
fuck off and ate my fucking burrito anyway.
Seeing as how I think that's more like a cavalry hat than a. I don't know. I don't know.
This
I'm not a
part was-
biologist.
This
I
was the
can't tell you.
goofiest part of this movie, by the way.
This is a pretty advanced program for the 80s.
This doesn't work.
Yeah.
This simulation is
Not really.
ridiculous. It's funny. I love it.
There
And
were
I love
computers that
Blair's
could run it.
reaction.
You need it for the
Best
plot,
part.
but yeah, as far as an actual program,
No, it's absurd.
Yeah, see, this
Um,
computer only does cell stuff, so this is Cell Wizard instead of Chess
But they
Wizard.
did things. So this is one of those. I mean, the moments between the book and the novella. I keep calling it a book. It's not a book.
So
The novella and the film, where certain characters do freak out and destroy things to try to prevent the thing, 'cause
diabetes.
they don't know what it is, from
Oh.
spreading from Antarctica.
Is that what the thing was?
know
Diabetes?
I thought he was trying to destroy diabetes, but that's
Yeah.
the
later.
thing is not diabetes, boys.
I'm a
He's
little
not
confused
using fucking Quaker oats to prevent the thing hitting the fucking coast.
So on the computing power issue, and you kind of see it with the setup here. So whoever did this set was fairly intelligent. You wouldn't have had personal computers. You would have had a mainframe with dumb workstations. So there would be a lot of computing power down there.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love this.
I
It's
feel much
so
better
funny.
now. I want to come back in.
Why is there a noose?
Blair's trying to make a point.
Oh, okay. I didn't get
Now,
that.
this is different than the book, though. So in the book, remember, they put Blair out in his little cabin and they fucking basically forget about him.
For a long time. Yeah. In the
For
movie, it's just like a couple
long
hours.
time.
I'm pretty sure that noose is tied with the safe knot that can't actually kill a person. Looking at it,
In the book, he was in that cabin like a week.
Right.
if
Yeah,
the
it was a
one that
long.
can kill
Yeah,
you-
the time periods in the book were longer.
Yeah.
If the one that can
Yeah.
kill you, there would be like one of the braids would not be straight.
Hey, so I'm going to go back. I want to go back to the book for a second because one of my favorite scenes in this was Kinner the cook, who basically is Knowles.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
all intents and purposes. But in the book, he keeps screeching like hymns. He's screaming hymns like he's gone insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the other guys can't take it anymore and kills him. But it turns out he was a fucking thing.
Yeah.
So the guy basically gets off on, well, you killed the thing because you were trying to kill a person, but you killed the thing.
And
I
the
thought
way
that
they
was
found that,
hilarious.
when they found that out, I think if I remember right, like he's like singing or doing a prayer or something, and then they put on a movie, and all of a sudden they can't hear him. Or
Yes,
Is that
it's
this
quiet.
guy's
It's
death?
quiet.
Yeah.
And they were gonna poke the body with like an electric prod,
Mhm.
which is how they figured it out. And then the body came back, and then they realized he was a thing. One of the things I thought was interesting in the book versus this version, and I don't even know if it's true necessarily in this version, is that the things like Gary in the novel had no idea. And I'm gonna give spoilers, by the way, spoilers alert, that he was a thing. He didn't know. He had no idea.
He was even commenting about that. How
Yes.
how about that, and then like just a few sentences later, surprise.
Because it copied their mind so completely that it didn't know. The mind didn't know that it wasn't the host.
That's being imitated.
So they're acting in some instances against their own best interest.
It still has the
Which is
host
bizarre.
body, its intact body, so to speak. Like when it consumes them, it just re-expresses that body as a chunk of itself. So, I mean, from the thing's perspective, it's the same person.
And they also use the word tarpaulin a lot. That was interesting to me. I had to look up what a tarpaulin was. It's a tarp.
It's
Yeah.
a tarp.
I guess tarp is abbreviation for tarpaulin. So
I want to say in the 90s, a really good one. It was in a collection where human beings were still human beings, but alien civilizations had colonized their bodies at a subatomic level. So when they wanted the human to go someplace, they would give an urge for the human to go out to a different area. But otherwise, they left the humans alone because they were like planets. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
I love this scene too. This is the McCready scene that I recreated at the beginning of the show.
yeah,
Where he's recording.
Blair assimilates knowledge into his beard.
That is also true, Subtle. That is actually true. That's a real one.
And you wouldn't know it from the movie, but McCready is the second in command.
Yes.
Gary's
Well,
the
it's
main
the same
guy,
in the book.
but-
Yeah.
Also the same in the book.
Yeah.
Gary is the base commander, but McCready is second command.
Yeah.
Although in the book he's a geologist,
Mhm.
not a geologist. He's a meteorologist.
Yeah, he's not a pilot.
Not a pilot.
He might
But
still
he
be a
also
pilot.
he was also that far from getting his MD in the book.
He might actually be a scientist in the movie. It doesn't come up, you know.
Well, in the movie, they actually have his background pretty well laid out. He was a Vietnam era pilot who got conscripted, doing CIA and other ops.
Yeah, but he might have like a college
found
degree in
himself
biology or
in
something
Antarctica.
too. Like, there's nothing unscientific about him. Like, he's not just like Matrix
Well,
or
that's true.
Commando or whatever, you know.
Copa.
Oh God, what are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Copo.
Just don't read that one.
Yeah, just-
or
just
we're gonna
keep
go
talking.
through it.
So
Don't read it.
No!
you trying to
So
trigger me?
while we
with
read
another-
it, what are your thoughts on Speed Force?
God damn it,
You want to
Copa.
see the Speed Force? I'm doing
Yeah, exactly.
like I'm not Speed Force really moving pretty freaking fast.
Yeah.
It's a Sicilian Speed Force.
Speed Force is what Ezra calls his pimping.
So this scene with McCready though, where he's recording basically it's literally the same thing I recorded. We're all very tired. No one trusts anybody anymore.
There's a
Basically, he's just
Did
trying
he-
to have something in
Oh,
case.
does he have a newborn? Is that what's going on?
I was going to say, you just described the stream.
This was so cool.
Yeah, this is pretty wild.
This effect was fantastic. And you know what? When they chop this guy's arms off, the actor who was playing the guy,
Mhm.
they actually put in a guy who had no arms. So when he pulls his arms out and there's nothing there, it's just blah, 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 blah.
You mean a
that's-
body double?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
was a
He
body.
Wearing
didn't
a
really cut
mask.
his arms off.
Yeah, he's a
So
double
that was fucking
amputee.
great.
Yeah, back in the 50s, they would have just cut his arms off.
That's right. You want to be in the movies or not?
I don't know. Do I get to
hit your
keep
deal
Anna?
for an armless guy if you cut these arms off?
But yeah, these practical effects are like incredible.
Fucking great, man.
Even when they look like shit too back in the day, there was, like I said, there's still something tangible to them.
Yeah, there's a charm to it.
Yeah.
And then there's the one where like the tentacle goes into the guy's cheek later
Oh,
on.
yeah.
We're probably
Yeah.
going to show that one, but that was like an amazing effect right there.
This
They
is
actually took
insanity.
an octopus tentacle and stuck it in his cheek. No, I don't know.
I love this thing. This thing is like my favorite thing. This is the Copa of the things for me.
So the worst.
I forget how they.
It's
Is
just
this the
so
one they take
fucking
out with the
weird
with
and
fire?
creepy.
Yep.
Yeah.
They see it, and it's like, gotta be fucking
Are
kidding
you
me.
fucking
That's
kidding
right.
me?
Yeah,
The
I
whole-
remember.
The thing is,
Sorry.
like, I got it away from
Oh.
those stupid monkeys, you know.
I also love this scene a lot when they get out there because he hasn't fully fucking developed yet, and he's still all fucking wonky with his fucking fingers.
Yeah, but I remember when the head sprouted legs and eyeballs and stuff. That
Oh god, yeah.
when I saw that, and then I can't remember who I was watching with, but it was like some chicks or something, and they were all like screaming, and all the dudes were like, "That's fucking awful."
Why? I don't. Like I don't understand why Shield Wall just didn't say babes. I think Shield Wall would say babes before you'd say chicks. Like I was hanging out with a couple of
You know,
babes.
We were all like 14
Couple of
or
dames.
something, so
Oh my.
gotta keep it
A couple of
PG.
dames.
Oh, okay, never
Chicks.
mind.
We'll go to the next scene immediately. So
Actually, I have something about the scene with the defibrillators. Think about this. The
oh yeah,
concept of-
yeah.
Remember, we talked about subverting expectations is a good way to do it and a bad way to do it.
Oh,
In
yeah, this was
1970s
fucking
Alien, the chest burster burst out. So we know going to this scene that something bad is going to happen the way the music is. So he subverts your expectation by having them go into where the thing is.
Yeah. You expect
And
something to come
yes.
shooting out.
And it's totally unexpected.
Well, it is, and when the
Oh,
teeth
yeah.
close, cut off the fucking forearms. Fuck,
That
you
was
did
like,
not
holy
expect that.
shit.
It's the right way to subvert expectations.
This is when the movie goes right off the rails. I was like, oh my God.
Well, this is where this movie got it all right, where the 2011 movie got it all wrong.
Well, where did it get it wrong at?
Well, the 20 of them had a dog in it. I mean, you got to give it that.
How about we say where didn't it get it wrong, Copa?
It nailed the sets. We already went over that.
One.
Okay.
It had a dog in it.
It had a dog in it too. Yeah,
No,
how many
no,
more
no,
examples
no,
do
you're
you
just saying
need?
what he said. That doesn't fucking count.
The main actress is kind of hot. So
No.
Yeah,
no,
Mary Elizabeth
no.
Weinsted's pretty.
The fact
pretty-
that there's
pretty
an
hot.
actress in it at all is a detractor from the movie.
She was a sexologist. She deserved to be there.
That's why they died.
She was a prostitute in the 80s who did not belong on set.
It was so bad she had to go to Antarctica.
You got to start your OnlyFans somewhere, dude.
You gotta start from the bottom, you guys.
She was
you
the
know.
first
They don't
OnlyFans.
give it to you.
Homely fans.
Yeah, in real life, she would have left there probably a millionaire.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
See?
All the
I
money
want
would
to
be
get on
hers.
that bitch at the Norwegian camp. Let me go.
You're kind of like Fat Bastard.
I still love this thing. I can't not hate this. This is like
The eyes
best
make it.
effect ever. Well, it was that weird like the walking effect was fantastic. It was just so good. And then there's fucking Chumley up here.
And he's doing the invasion of the body snatchers
Yes.
sound from like the 70s.
Well, they
yeah.
set him on fire.
Yep.
But that was good shit. Good shit setting him on fire.
So this dude gets shot in the head.
Oh, Clark. So this is interesting though. So I think the level in the 1982 film is actually higher in Paranoia than the novella was.
Yes.
This whole film is the scarier aspect of it all was the paranoia.
Yes.
Like this whole film just nails paranoia down on point.
Like as
It
an
does.
audience member, you have no idea who is who to trust. Where in a lot of
Right.
other movies,
Right.
as the audience viewer, you kind of have an insight into stuff so that you know kind of what's going on. In
Mhm.
this, you have no idea. In the 51 movie, it felt like
Yeah,
there was no tension in that at all. They were just running around.
No,
kicking the shit out of
no.
stuff.
It was the humans against the vegetable.
And the music is a huge
So-
part of the tension.
so
versus
usually-
the book, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Books.
so usually in film, especially horror films, you have what they call dramatic irony, which is where the audience pretty much knows what's going on, but the characters don't, which drives up the tension even more. And this movie could easily like a lesser filmmaker would use and deploy dramatic irony, but there's none to be found here.
No.
You're just like Kurt Russell's character. You do not know who to trust. You can't even trust Kurt Russell as an audience member.
Right.
Mhm.
Because you can't trust any of these guys because you have no idea. Have they been
Right.
exposed? You
You're-
don't know.
You're almost like the lost camp member throughout this whole film.
I guess the biggest problem I have is that there's just no mystery boxes in this, and there should
It
be
gets a
mystery
little worse when
Yeah.
the paranoia, because when you realize all that's going on here is distraction for the thing to be building its spaceship.
Yes. Everything is distraction. But
Yeah.
that story, that story that is in the feed, talks about that distraction.
Yeah, the story they even say the ship was distraction. There's no way that thing was going to make it anywhere.
Right.
The whole thing was distraction, so it could go back to sleep in the ice, and somebody else can come pick it up.
I do love how much they went back to the novel for this stuff though. Because
Mhm.
they did go back for the serum thing, which didn't work out. In this movie, it didn't work out for a different reason. But in the book, it didn't work out because it was compromised, which kind of makes sense. In this one, they go back to the blood test. They go back to the most basic thing. The heated blood will act as its own entity.
And I thought that was a really good part of that book, is that the scientific part where he was smart enough and knew enough about how stuff worked to where that it was compromised.
Right.
You know, now
Yeah, it's
nowadays,
like, oh no, one of
Yeah.
us is the thing.
right.
And I also loved in the book that they still didn't know which one was it. I don't know. Was it me? I actually don't know.
Well, in the novella and in both the official adaptations, the thing is portrayed as intelligent, differently in different ways, but it's not like a mindless alien like the aliens are, in the early films and all that. So, like, there's a plan, a cooking, so to speak, in all three of them. What that plan is, like it's clearly an evil alien in the novella and in the 1951. Carpenter keeps it very ambiguous,
Right. I never really get the feeling that you get it's more of like a Cthulhu type intelligence in the Carpenter movie, where it's so different than what a normal human
Yes.
thinks that you really it's not like speaking through somebody's mouth or something, and at least that I remember it doing, except maybe at the end here. But you know what I mean? Like, at no point do you get there's no point on the screen where you're seeing through the monster's eyes.
No.
You're hearing what it's trying to say. You don't even know what its motivations are.
Well, even the idea about that it's going to assimilate people, that's something the humans think it's going to do.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, is that John Carpenter always made sure that the audience member was an active participant, as if he was part of the camp, or as if you are part of the camp.
Yeah, if Carpenter wanted you to know the villain was evil, they did evil stuff early on. There was no compare, because he had the apocalyptic trilogy with this and Prince of Darkness and the other movie. Like, you knew right away the bad guys were bad guys in Prince of Darkness.
It makes it better that the villain doesn't have a motivation. It's taking people out or taking control of people.
That's the thing. It has a motivation. You just don't know what it is.
You don't understand.
Right.
It.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess that's what I meant, is that you just don't understand its motivation.
I don't want to get eaten by a bear, but if I'm in the middle of the woods and the bear eats me, I can't blame the bear.
Bear wouldn't eat me. I'd fist fight it till it dies.
Well,
is it just
the Speed Force?
The characters from the book and the only two that are in the movie are I can't remember. It's like Kurt Russell and Wilford Brimley's characters are the only two that are from the book, right?
There are analogies of people from the book that have different names and different roles.
Right, but as far as like the names in the movies and the book, it's just those two. Is that right?
I believe so. Yes.
No, Blair. Well, you have Blair. You have McCready.
Yep.
You have Clark, who's the dog guy. In
Okay, so I've got
Gary.
I've got the list here of who's who kind of in the zoo.
Okay.
So you have Benning. You have Barkley, who is the tractor operator. I guess Barkley is always the same. Benning is an aviation mechanic, but in 1982 he's a meteorologist. Blair is a biologist. Who is a biologist? Clark is the dog handler. He's always the dog handler.
Okay.
Copper is a physician. Gary is the expedition commander. Kinner is the cook. But in 1982 version, he's basically Knowles.
Okay.
McCready is second in
Is
command. He's a
McCready.
meteorologist, but obviously in 1982 is the pilot.
Yeah.
Norris is a physicist, but in 82 is a geologist. And then there's
Norris
a bunch of
is
kind
a
of other
muscular
random characters
physicist.
who don't matter.
Childs and Windows.
They don't exist in the book,
Yeah.
though. But I think those were great characters. Windows was a fucking fantastic character in the film.
Yeah, you kind of felt sorry for him.
Well, because he was always getting yelled at, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, in terms of alien horror films, which is better, Alien or The Thing?
The Thing.
2011, dude? Seriously? Wow.
That's a problem with those guys naming it the same damn thing.
I know.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
fucking
No,
gay as fuck. They shouldn't have been allowed to name it the same thing. They shouldn't have been allowed to name it the same thing.
No, but honestly, 1982, The Thing versus Alien, which one?
I would say The Thing too.
The 79 Alien?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I love. I love that movie. Don't get me wrong.
But you're saying The Thing, Roman?
I like this
Yeah,
one
I
better.
am seeing
Barely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ah,
Second
Shield
class.
wall go. What is it?
that's hard. Because there's so much I like about in the Alien. Okay,
Well, I
I'll say
agree.
this. I think the monster in this is better. But I just like the whole terror in space part of the other one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
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 No,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to fight you on that. If it's a razor's edge, because
Yes,
they're such different films and bring such unique aspects to the horror genre. That's like you couldn't have a Alien versus the Thing movie.
Right.
That'd be
But
stupid.
No.
right?
Yeah. Right.
Matt, what are you saying?
I would say they're around equal because to me, this isn't even John Carpenter's best film. Like, there
Yeah,
are
it's
more
it's
films
Big
Carpenter
Trouble in Little
has.
China, obviously.
Yeah.
But
The fuck it is.
Halloween, as far as scariness, Halloween, The Fog, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness are much,
you think In the Mouth of
Wow.
Madness is up there with Halloween better than The Thing?
No.
you can't. You in the Mouth of Madness, you can't win. You could win. That you can't win.
Yeah, but I mean as an overall film though, not the plot.
Thing is, if you want to say, okay, analyze them as films, regardless of my fanship of horror or John Carpenter, this is not a very. There are production issues I could point out, that set could have been a little better or whatever. And In the Mouth of Madness, he had a real budget again. He
Okay,
had,
so obviously you're choosing Alien over The Thing without saying it.
no, I'm saying they're around equal. I prefer The Thing. I think it's a better plot.
Oh
And-
wow.
This
Okay.
is easily my favorite John Carpenter film, easily. And in my top films, this is probably like my number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like of all time.
Number 1 being Big Trouble in Little China.
Go fuck yourself, Copa.
Dude, what is wrong
I
with
love
you, Big
and hate
Trouble in
you
Little
at the same
China?
time.
No.
Number 2,
no,
Memoirs
Go,
of the Invisible Man.
It's
Anyone?
the Fifth Element. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's true. Where's the
Love
Fifth
it.
Element situate between Big Trouble and The Thing?
Yeah.
On a
The Thing
scale of Big
2011.
Trouble, Big Trouble in Little China to The Fifth Element, where does The Thing sit?
Although I will say
And
this,
thank you, Copa, for being with us tonight. That's
up against Aliens, I prefer Aliens over this.
really.
Yes.
Which means you prefer Aliens over Alien? Do you prefer
yes.
that one?
Yes, I do.
I do
Oh,
not.
I don't. I don't go
Wow.
that way. I don't go that
That
way.
now,
at
see,
all.
that's a tougher one for me. I don't know
I'm
which
a
one to
shield wall
choose
on that
between
one.
Alien and Aliens.
See, to me-
Copa, I agree. That's a tough call.
That's a tough call.
I will usually lean towards Alien, but there's
Alien
such
is more
different
cerebral,
films.
and Aliens is much more.
All right, come on, Tyler
Visceral.
the Redbeard. Be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, dude.
I already said The Thing over Alien.
Over Aliens.
And Alien.
Oh,
So Alien over Aliens, The Thing over which one? How does this work for you?
The Thing over Alien, and probably Aliens over Alien.
Wow.
Awesome. There we go.
But why Shield Wall? Why?
Because it's just it has more action,
Okay.
and it's got more aliens. It's got just more stuff going on. It has its
more
problems. Matt convinced me of a whole plethora of things that are wrong with it.
No,
that I
Matt will
used to
do
like.
that. Don't.
I know.
Matt will,
I know.
Matt will lead you down the dark path.
He's already dimmed some of the light on a couple of movies I really used to like.
Hey, you could blame the Speed Force for this.
Yep.
Exactly. Matt wins the Speed Force Award for that.
But I will admit this though, there have been some where I was really up on a movie, and then he showed me like exactly what was wrong with it, and I was like, "Damn it, he's right." And now it's obvious, and I can't unsee it.
All right. So honestly, but
Yeah, Copa.
I could see if you would say like, "Hey, Aliens over Alien" because it has Vasquez in it, and then I'd be like, "Yep, you win. That's fucking true."
So what about Aliens 3 versus?
Nah,
Alien?
nah,
No.
Alien 3.
Are we just doing all the Alien movies?
No,
against
no.
there are
no.
only two
No.
Alien movies.
Yeah,
Right,
there's
right.
two. It stops at
Actually,
Aliens.
we did a whole series on the bad Alien movies.
How about Alien versus Predator or The Thing?
Only the 2004.
What about
The
Alien
Thing is
Covenant,
way better
guys?
than that movie by leaps and bounds.
The Thing 2011 versus Alien Covenant.
There you go. Now we're getting
God.
The
Yeah,
Thing
yeah.
2011. I still get that. I'll give it.
No matter
The
who
Thing
wins,
2011.
we lose in that one.
Is
No one
jumping
wins.
out of
all
a
agree
window on a 20th
Prometheus is the
floor
best of all.
one of the choices?
Oh, hey, Subtle has a good question for Roman. I see in the chat.
Which one? Where?
Would Roman rather be locked in a room with Lilu from The Fifth Element or The Thing?
Hang on.
He's got to think about it.
I'm gonna go with the
Answer
Thing.
Spartan Flash.
I'm gonna be
Century.
absorbed into that greater world, even though I don't know it yet. Which is the point of the view of the Thing.
I think the Blob would beat the Thing, unless the Thing could take over the Blob.
Yeah.
The Blob.
Nobody wanted to talk about Alien 3, Stephen. They didn't really want to.
That's because the Alien 3 is fucking
Conversation
terrible.
going.
Yeah,
Alien
there's a
3 is
term for
fucking-
that. It's called garbage.
Yeah.
We'd rather watch The Thing 2011 than Alien 3.
Ooh.
Right, guys?
Yeah.
Hang on, wait. That's actually a tough argument.
back
I don't
me
know
up.
which is worse.
How many
Hang on,
times?
I'm settling in for a second. This is me.
I've got to watch the 2011 one now because of all this.
Yeah, actually, you do.
Really?
You do.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God!
know.
No, this
I
is
just
an
have to.
encouragement,
You
Tyler.
can't have the complete. Just like you can't really talk intelligently about the Aliens franchise if you haven't seen them all.
That's true. If you haven't seen
Right.
every fucking one of
It's-
those stupid
It's like
fucking
Highlander.
movies.
Unless you watch the non-existent sequels, you don't understand.
Oh man, those.
Oh, dude.
Ooh, man, I'd rather
Indiana
watch Aliens
If you
3
don't watch
again.
Silent Destiny, you can't tell the story.
Wait, you guys can't even stomach
actually still
Highlander
don't
2?
know. I still don't know which one.
Oh
is worse.
God, no, Koopa. Don't even.
Okay. You guys don't want to talk Highlander 2 right now?
Highlander 2.
No.
I try Highlander the Sword.
Copa, what the
Highlander
fuck?
Endgame.
We'll save that. We're gonna save Highlander for a special stream.
Orbital
I would
Wobble.
love to.
Highlander
You know what?
1,
Honestly,
2,
though, I would
and
love
3,
to do a panel
and
on
the series.
Highlander.
I've been on one before. They're great. I'd love to be on another one.
Yeah.
I was on with great
Yeah,
one.
I like Highlander. Highlander is one of my favorite weird franchises. So right now at the end, we go back and Childs is like, kind of like, what do we do now? And McCready's like, I don't know. Why don't we just sit here a while and see what happens? And that's the end of the movie. And
That's
that
so
is just
fucking
a
cool.
Great. That is a great fucking movie ending.
Yes, it
Because
is.
it's ambiguous.
That's the part where he
It
said, like,
leaves
fuck
it up
you
to
too,
you
it's bigger
guys to
dynamite.
figure out what's going to happen. I
love that.
love that shit. Tyler,
That
what
was
are you
just-
I
saying?
won't spoil it. I will say Carpenter has said if you go back and watch the film, you will know the answer to the question.
We know.
Steven's got to take off. Take care, Steven.
There, Stephen.
Oh,
See you, Steven.
brother, be strong. We're out there for you.
But yeah, you can definitely tell who's the Thing at the end.
And if
you're
if
paying
you
attention.
don't
I
wanna
believe
know
at the
answer to
end, the thing is
question,
Copa.
Don't play the
and
video
it's
game.
got
All
those
right.
fucking sprouts coming out.
I already got one. Tyler's going to watch the 2011 The Thing.
God damn it, Tyler! Do not watch that movie.
You're all getting paranoid now. You guys might be watching 2011 The Thing here soon enough. Maybe Cope is right.
You want to know something terrible? I actually owned that movie because I didn't go to theater to see it.
I do too.
So you blind bought it?
You bought it?
No, I do. I blind buy a lot of things. I'm like, okay, this is something, and then I got it, and I was like,
That's like pre-ordering a video game before it comes out.
Did you at least
I
buy
said,
it
"Oh my God,
secondhand or something?
what do
You
I
didn't
do
buy
with
it, like,
this?"
new? Did you? Did you buy it
What?
new?
What was that, Tyler?
Did you buy it new or like from a
No, I bought it brand new before it was like came out. I did like a pre-order because I didn't.
thought
go
it was
to
like, hey, it's
theaters.
$3 in the bargain bin. I'll try it.
Yeah.
Roman
No,
thought it
no,
was the
it was
Thing
just
82,
before.
and then he got home. He's like, "What is this shit? This isn't what I remember."
He was very disappointed.
There's a woman in here. Ew.
I ordered that fucking movie. I have it. It's in my shelf right now. It's under like several other things. Like
Yeah, I
don't
got it
open.
too.
Just rewatch it, Roman. Maybe you're misjudging here, dude.
No,
Just
I have at Copa. I actually have rewatched it just to make sure that my memory was secure on this, and
Uh-huh.
it is.
Yeah,
It is
rewatching
just
that
bad.
is like getting a thing of milk out of the refrigerator that's bad,
That's-
smelling
they
it,
split
and then-
it was so
and then
bad.
going, that's bad, and then smelling it again just to be sure.
And then putting it back in the fridge.
Yeah, and then put it back in the fridge. He
Oh,
still
God,
has
this
it.
is good.
He still has a copy
Like
of the
in there.
shelf.
Maybe tomorrow it'll be better.
Exactly.
Eventually, it'll turn into
It's grown
cheese.
legs and eyes.
It ages like fine milk.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I actually ordered the soundtrack for the thing. Big Bad Toy Store offered it again. So it's a white disc with the Antarctic on it.
Is this Ennio Morricone and
Yes.
John Carpenter did the music?
It's a vinyl. It's the vinyl version of it because I'm a weirdo now. And it was like $35 for a re-release. The old one's going to cost you. The original release is like hundreds of dollars because, burn me, it should be.
'Cause it's the original.
But the new one, it like I said, white vinyl. It looks cool. It's got the Antarctica on there, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's supposed to be here in a couple of days.
Oh, cool. You don't have
So-
it yet. Okay.
No.
You got to do like an unboxing for content video.
Do you know how many unboxing I have in my pile right now? A lot.
you-
Toxic videos are better if there's cleavage. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Roman, show him off.
Gotta
Ooh.
show it off. Yeah. If you want to get
I'm
the
actually wearing my Thing shirt today. by
Wear
the
that
way.
tank top.
I'm wearing my
Tank top,
Outpost
right.
31 shirt.
No shit.
Yeah, you can order them. You can order them. So it's an Outpost 31 shirt,
Hey, White Bear, how's it going?
1982.
What's up, Whitey?
You know what the funny thing is, when I wear this shirt, no one questions it. It's like, oh, that's fine. You were there in 1982. I'm like, yeah.
Do people come up to you in the grocery store and be like, "Were you there in 1982 at the Outpost?"
Are you one
Was
of
it-
them?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Oh my god.
Yep.
That's-
Wow.
Did you get to know McCready?
yeah. That was like the 9/11 of Antarctica, wasn't it?
You know what the funny thing is, though, I figured I'm like, if you were in your 20s in that event, you'd be like perfectly normal in society to be like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I was a little bit older than that, or a little bit younger than that, but it's like, yeah, you could actually have these guys just running around like everything was fine.
So
in the Thing form, like
So the cool thing story for me. I'm all into sharing stories about movies that are a little bit before my time today. I was on Pop's stream earlier sharing Star Wars stories
Yeah, man.
about me like totally wrecking my parents' backyard trying to find toys. I was digging
I
up
heard
holes.
that, but you dug one up, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I did. I found one, and then I fucked up
That
the
is
entire
very
backyard. Well, that's what my mom gets for telling me there's treasure in the backyard, and that's what my brother gets for fucking putting
Yeah,
putting
I
treasure
actually
in the
didn't
backyard.
expect that story to end that way. I was pretty impressed.
So, so with the Thing, The first time I ever saw it was on a local TV station, and I think I was like 6 or 7. And one of the things I like to do when the movie came on the TV was like I'd like to make myself a sandwich and sit down and eat it while the movie's playing. So I did that during commercial break. Came back, sat down, and all the disgusting shit started happening. Made me sick to my stomach. Never happened to me before. So then, to this day, I cannot watch The Thing and eat at the same time. It's the weirdest fucking thing ever.
You just described Roman's experience with The Fifth Element.
Fuck The Fifth Element.
Dude, you need to rewatch it just to make sure. Just to make sure you're dialed in, you're zeroed in.
No.
Just script. Look, I understand. I know what your problem is. Just skip the Chris Tucker parts. You're okay.
He popped in on
that. The other parts are terrible too. Gary Oldman is fucking nightmarish in that. I love Gary Oldman, but he's terrible in that movie.
He popped into Jacob's Ironside stream for a bit.
I know. I was there for the first. I watched the replay.
I hate the recasting of the guy who was fucking in Blade Runner as some kind of general. I didn't like that. I didn't like the black guy who had one eye looking the fucking other direction as the fucking president because he's a bad actor.
Yeah.
I didn't like that just in general.
Oh, Tiny.
Yeah.
Bad
casting. Even the good casting was bad casting.
Dude, like George Lucas totally jacked The Fifth Element to make Coruscant. It looks dude, The Fifth Element is so good. And it has Lopan in it. He's selling noodles to Bruce Lee or Bruce Willis. I said Bruce Lee. Now I'm racist. But he's
he's fucking racist, folks. Fucking Copa is racist. Everything is going
using the Speed Force will do that to you, Copa.
I know. I'm sorry. I used it too much. I used all my Speed Force elements or whatever the fuck you're
you're going to turn to Ezra Miller.
Exactly. You'll be choking women out in Iceland next.
Hell yeah, based. But anyway, like Roman, it has Luke Perry in it. The end. Watch it again.
Yeah,
that's like the beginning of the movie, and he's the reason for the problems they had throughout the entire film.
Yeah, it's good. And
the beginning of the movie is the best part of that movie, and that was only like what 12 minutes in.
You didn't like Bruce Willis in the movie, for real?
No, I didn't.
It would have been better if it had more mystery boxes.
That's true. If J.J. Abrams remade it, would you watch
and more
it?
flare
It
effects,
would be amazing.
No one should remake this movie. Please don't remake the movie. I like to pretend the movie doesn't exist, even in my weird sphere of movies.
Could you imagine if J.J. Abrams remade The Thing? What that would fucking look like?
It would just be screen,
God damn it!
No.
JJ, remake this movie to make 2011 look like a masterpiece.
You can't remake 1982. You can't remake the 1982 version. You can't. That's what they tried to do in 2011. They tried to remake that movie.
I don't think they did.
No, they did. They just tried to do it with like variations.
No, I think it was incapable filmmakers who, like I said, they didn't know what they were doing.
Breathe, Roman.
Original. This needs to be said. I know you're messing with Roman on purpose. Copa, I know you're messing on purpose, but if they had the original crew of people doing that movie and not studio interference, it might very well have been a decent prequel.
That's what I totally 100%.
And they didn't wait 30 years. Yeah.
Unironically agree with that.
The ifs were there though, so it doesn't matter.
But
it doesn't matter.
Do we have a couple minutes for a better unofficial version of the thing to talk about?
There he goes. Matt waited 2 hours.
Yeah. Let's talk about this, Matt. Let's talk about this.
We're
running on. What time is it right now?
We're coming up on 2 hours.
So we could.
We got a couple minutes left. So yeah. Hit this.
You got to do it in 6 minutes. Go.
I'm trying to find. Did they change? Oh, there it is. Did they change the way you share stuff in this stupid program?
The other thing is, it's not Japanese, so they're probably not going to hit me on it.
Well, I'm not going to play it. I'll skim through it. So this is a movie called Horror Express.
Yeah, it looks
done in Spain. They want the producer wanted to make an adaptation of Who Goes There, but did not have the money to pay for it. So as often happens in Hollywood and places around the world, they decided we're going to change enough of it to make it not have to pay them. There was a lawsuit, but it got dismissed in Spanish court, basically. So the premise is.
So this is the fistful of dollars to Yojimbo.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly what it is.
So it stars Christopher Lee, Peter Sellers, and Telly Savalas.
Christopher Lee, Peter Sellers,
Damn.
and fucking
That's
Many others.
Yeah.
you've seen in
Heavy
Murderer's
cast.
Row of the 70s.
Yeah. It is not a Hammer film, but it was done to look like a Hammer film on purpose. And Lee plays Professor Saxton. He always plays like a weird professor in a lot of these movies. Who's a British anthropologist, and he's coming back from someplace in Asia with a find he found, like a frozen caveman type thing. And
Yes.
he's on the Trans-Siberian Express when it defrosts, and it turns out to be an alien. Okay, and it's a 70s horror film, right? So I'll do a little skim through so you can see some shots from it. You know, there's Christopher Lee. You know,
Yeah, I love this cave sequence. The cave sequence was great.
yeah. Look at that classic train.
What's up with us Italians and Sicilians that are obsessed with trains? Has anybody come to the conclusion with that one?
No, we don't know why we love them, but we do.
Yeah, we fucking love them. Like my dad's obsession with trains transferred over to me and my brother. It's always the males too. It's never
How
the females.
Fucking tall was Christopher Lee.
Oh, he
And
had to
he-
been 6'6".
He was a tall drink of water. Yeah.
Lee and
He's like
Cushing
a
love
giant.
doing this film together, by the way.
That is a fake mustache.
You're a fake mustache.
Good one.
I mean, it's just a visual. This is the high def remaster, so it's
Oh no, I watched all this
Christopher
part.
Lee's
I
height
loved-
is
I loved
6'5".
watching this from the fucking- I got the
6'5",
spin of
damn.
death.
6'5", dude.
No.
That's
Oh
almost
my
a
God,
foot
you're-
taller
you're-
than Tom Cruise.
yeah. I'm gonna stop before we get to too many of the reveals because not a lot of people have seen it, so I'm gonna spoil everything. But you see, well, obviously, you see something going on here, and they don't shy away from stuff in this movie.
Is it worth a watch, Matt?
It is. It's an amazing movie. It's one of the better like 70s horror films you'll ever see.
Should I watch this or the 2011 The Thing?
Both.
This.
Both.
I would
This-
say do
this-
both, but
this-
No,
this-
you gotta pick
this-
one.
this-
Oh, you got to watch 2011. The thing.
Okay.
Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up, Copa.
Yeah, I mean, this one's dated. Ew. Like, look how old it looks.
It's got boobs.
2011. That was 12 years
That
ago.
was very
dude.
stylish in 2011. Yeah.
so I'm about to stop.
Don't
because we're
tell
about to hit the
anyone what
spoiler
you
area
said.
of this film.
That's a sweet stash right there.
That's as far as I'll go because I don't want to spoil the thing. But
Yeah, so I have to download this. I'm going to download this so I can
Yeah.
actually watch it because my version got.
and if you guys
fucked
don't
up.
have it, I could share that
Fucked
link
off,
with you
Roman.
guys. So you can
What
download
year
it.
was this made again?
1972 or I was
And
born.
what's it called?
It was year 71, 72. It was the year before I was born. Or the year
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
early 70s.
Yeah.
What was it called, Matt?
Like right there.
Horror Express.
Horror Express. That's right.
I was going to say this doesn't look like 2011 to me.
I saw one called the
No,
Horror
you know-
Express.
you know why?
I don't know.
Because it
I
looked
think it was
better.
kind of different than that.
Than 2011. Even it's like you have the stereotypical Chinese cast. Everything else, it's still better. It's still better. It's still more entertaining.
Well,
It's a fun movie.
and these are actors who know how to do character-based horror.
Yes.
You know, it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
because all the actors you see, like you might not recognize them, but I've seen a lot of horror films here. I recognize all the background actors, you know. And then Telly Savalas, who most people know as Kojak, right? His best as an actor when he plays crazy people, okay? And his best crazy person role is in this movie. Like to the major public, his big crazy person role is Dirty Dozen when he played the one guy who went nuts. But
Mhm.
this film
Yeah.
is kind of like that, but a little more, you know. So
Well, right on, right on. See, we got to end on a weird note. I love that.
All right.
So, Horror Express, if you haven't seen it or heard of it, find it because
You're
it is a
saying
weird-
you're saying horror, right?
Yeah.
Which is it?
The other one I have seen, it is pretty good. It's
There's so many. There's so many
horror like, but
Tyler-
uh,
Tyler had to sit through that disgusting movie 9 times.
Had to. What do you mean?
I didn't see nothing resembling
That was
no
a
zombies or-
Porky's reference to the movie Porky's.
The guy who did the music for this did Buck Rogers, the TV show. He did he did the Kojak TV show, incidentally. He did a lot of TV movies and shows. What the hell? All the Dirty Dozen sequels. Like
wow.
he's a big time television
Those
like
weren't good.
music guy.
But
Interesting.
Nice. Nice.
all right, folks. So we are going to wrap it. But this was fun. This was a good discussion tonight. We actually covered like all the weird thing properties, some new weird thing properties. You know what the thing is? Ba-dum-bum. Is that we still have other thing properties we could probably get to and still talk about this for a very long time. That's the nice thing. We could dig in and just like bury ourselves in 1982 for fucking 4 to 7 hours. And one day we might do that. We might do that because I'm willing to do that because I love doing that kind of thing. But tonight is not the night. I do want to thank all of my panel members, Shieldwall and Blair and Copa and Matt and Tyler for being here tonight. And Tyler actually sat through all the movies like a weird fucking noob who had never seen them before. That's exciting. So, Tyler, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I've
I've been meaning to get around to it, so that kind of lit a fire to watch them.
It's
So,
exciting to boost that thing.
Yeah.
Boost that thing.
Yeah, eject.
That was terrible. Also, so if you're inclined, Stephen Ransom does need our help. So please DM Blair de Blair on Twitter if you can help with that. Please. So thank you for that. And everyone else who is in the chat tonight, thank you for being here. And anyone who's going to watch this in the future, thank you for watching the show tonight. It's always fun talking about this topic. This is one of those ones we could go on about for a very long time for obvious reasons. There are many layers to the original story, the 1951 version, and the 1982 version. These are things that could take, a week or more to get through to actually do a thorough dissertation of these. But we are just having fun with it tonight. So thank you for being here. So, as always, this has been Roman of the Empire. If you haven't subbed or liked or all the stuff, please do, because we always appreciate that. And we really do need your help because basically on a crumbling empire, what am I, a child? Probably. Yes. So thanks for being here. And please, again, if you want to donate for the Stephen Ransom Fund, hit up Blair on Twitter. This has been Roman of the Empire signing off. Be kind.